Well, good afternoon. Well, actually, it's morning. So it's about 11:30 today on Tuesday, and we have invited yet another phenomenal entrepreneur in the beauty industry to come and join us today and share with you what makes her tick. And one of the things that Ann and I were just talking about that she will share and delve more into is that so much of what we do to present ourselves to the world is not really for the world, but the world ends up seeing it. It's really for us. So Ann, thank you so much. Ann reigns in Fairfax, Virginia. She is a beauty entrepreneur extraordinaire. And so we are excited to be able to bring her onto the screen to be able to allow you to glean into who she is and what makes her get up and function and all the different aspects of who she is and why she does what she does. So, Ann, thank you for spending time with me today, and you look phenomenal in your great colors.
Oh, thank you. I have to admit I was a little surprised to get the call that last week that you wanted to talk to me, because I was, really? Why now? Because my business has not been the usual the
Yeah.
past month or so, and then I thought about it and I realized nobody's heads.
That's right.
So,
Yeah.
anyway,
But you are phenomenal. I mean, it's not, we don't look at the size of the business month by month. We look at just the heart of the individual and what you pour into it. So one thing I can say for sure is you're consistent.
well, thank you. Yeah.
And that's powerful.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's part of who I am, part of what I do, and
Yes.
I love it. I tell people I've been doing this for 30 years now.
Wow.
And I don't get bored.
Okay.
Because people are all different. Each client is a unique challenge.
Yeah.
Fashion keeps changing.
Yes.
Cosmetic technology keeps changing.
Yes.
So there's always something new, and it keeps it fresh even 30 years later. So.
And how much do you think, how much has changed versus remained the same when it comes to you working with your clients on image and beauty and closets and all that? Is it a lot that's changed, or is it just small increments of change incorporated with the things that are constant?
Probably the latter.
Okay.
Because some people will, when they hear about it, there's like, oh yeah, that was popular way back, and it's like the principles remain the same. This is a basic truth, and so that part doesn't change. Styles change.
Styles change, yeah, but don't they repeat themselves in a lot of ways?
Yeah, but it's more of an evolution.
Yes.
Things change, gradually over time.
Okay.
But the fact that each client is their own, that's really the fun of it.
Yes.
Getting to know people you wouldn't get to know otherwise.
Yes.
And just the unique challenge that each person is. There are people who what to do right off the bat, and other people that they kind of surprise you as you get to know.
Okay, as you get close, up and close, yeah.
And that actually makes it the most fun, I think.
Okay, that's great.
Although if everyone was a challenge, that would it might be exhausting.
That would be tough. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So you get a little sprinkle that keeps you on your toes with the customers that end up being a little bit more challenging. So COVID-19, how has that impacted you and your business, like for the immediate, and how do you see it impacting you for the future?
Oh boy. Well, that's interesting because I'm being very careful. I'm in a big hurry to open. I have not been in any building other than this house.
Okay.
The last 2 months.
Okay.
I have not had anyone else in your
space.
In this house. And I don't want to get sick, so I'm being really careful.
Be careful, yes, and that's smart in any sense of the word.
It's nice to be able to do. I enjoy meeting with clients. Nice to be able to do some of it online.
Okay.
And you do get to know people pretty well that way. So I'm grateful that that option is available. It's not. It's not my favorite way of doing business, and I really recommend it to somebody new in the business.
Okay.
I think it's a hard, because I have trained people, I train people and
Online, yes.
Sometimes too, usually online, because Jill does such a phenomenal job in this area that I feel like if somebody has a chance to take advantage of that, they should. But I do have trained a few people who wanted to do all their business online.
Online, yes.
And it's not easier that way.
Yeah, it's I mean, we are in a business where face to face is absolutely the preferred, but right now we've got a new norm. So
right.
So you've been doing meeting with your clients virtually. That's one significant, that's a change that you've done or made in the course of your day-to-day operations.
Doing more of it, yeah. And you probably know that Jill puts together these update classes in spring and fall, which I have done since the very beginning. I love to do them. Brings people back over and over.
Over and over, yes.
And I have some clients that were from my very first year that still come every time.
Wow. And that's twice a year, right?
Yes, spring and fall, and the main fashion seasons, right? Anyway, so I actually was in South Africa when everything locked down. It was.
Were you? Okay.
A long planned trip that just fell right
in the midst of that. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and it was cut short because we had to get back.
You had to get back, yes.
Had to get back home.
Wow.
So anyway, and so landed to a quarantine, and then and then of course that's the spring update season, and I'd only done one update before we left.
Gotcha.
And I'd always offered that online, but it hadn't really gone anywhere. But actually, I had more interest, I think, when everyone was feeling at loose ends right off the bat. Yes. Was a really good time to catch them.
Right.
Looking for things to do, and so that was certainly helped my months of March and April.
In April, yes.
Yeah.
So that's great. And one of the things I found fascinating, so you have have expanded what you're doing beyond beauty. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing to assist the community during this coronavirus.
Oh, okay. Well, it's interesting. It's more like coming full circle, because when I started doing this, I had been doing some, I had worked in costuming, making costuming in Hollywood before I came to Virginia. And I did some private dressmaking here, and my excuse for getting into this.
Your excuse.
Really, I was fascinated with it and really wanted to do it. But my excuse was that I needed to give my my dressmaking clients informed advice, so that because in that case, they bought the thing before they knew if it suited them.
Okay.
So,
that's great.
But now, what I started doing, actually, this was through one of my long-term clients.
Okay.
She is involved with DMV making masks.
Okay.
And they making cloth masks, and also the surgical caps.
Okay.
for the
For like the medical community. Mhm.
Yeah. So after kind of the dust cleared a little bit after my return, I said, I would like to help with that.
Okay.
I've probably made close to 100 each masks and caps at this point.
Wow.
Not just for them, but for, friends and family and so forth
Okay.
too. But anyway, it's creatively satisfying, and it also, it's needed.
Absolutely.
A lot of
That's
demand.
awesome. And one of the things you had mentioned to me earlier too is that because we know that the customer really doesn't necessarily buy into everything we do as much as how we make them feel and how we leave them after we've spent time. So you now have finally resigned yourself to let people know, that your clientele know what you're doing outside of the color and the fashion business. And so tell us a little bit about how you are communicating with your customers on a regular basis.
Well, I do a monthly e-newsletter.
Okay.
Usually goes out early in the month after what the sales are. So that's going to be an afternoon project.
Okay.
Putting that together.
Okay.
I always take the sales and make up a little flyer,
Okay.
which I enclose with orders, and then I incorporate that into the e-newsletter.
Okay.
I talk about always the sales, but also tips and classes, or news of different sorts, things that I think that will be useful to them.
Okay.
And I send that out. I've got a few hundred on my e-newsletter list. So
Okay. Okay.
probably over 400 now.
That's great. That's great. And how are you getting new clients in 2020?
Well, referrals certainly help through my website, which I was interested to see that Lynn is getting hers updated, because I'm actually in the middle of that myself.
Okay.
Finally decided that after doing a do-it-yourself website for the last several years, that I would get some professional assistance. So that's in process now. You'll see it in about a month.
Okay.
And,
But the do-it-yourself worked for a period of time.
oh, sure, but
Yeah.
it looks old.
It
looks old,
so,
and it's time to have something that has a little bit, more pizzazz.
okay.
So
that's great. That's great. So if you had to give your best advice to somebody coming into the business, what would you consider to be the top three things that you would see as the must things? You must do these things if you want to stand any chance of being successful with your business. What would that be?
Well, that's interesting. One of the things I think choosing a good person, that you feel comfortable with. Jill has been the amazing mentor and leader for me,
Okay.
for Lynn, for Beth, for any of us for a long time. And I followed her. This is the third company I followed her.
Okay. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Also, I tell people I'm following Color Alliance around.
Okay. Because you love the system. You love the system and what it represents.
Huge proponent of the system. But Jill was just so, she wasn't pushy. She was more informative.
Yes.
I knew that she knew what she was talking
about.
But she didn't push.
Okay.
And having that kind of compatibility, I think, was really, really key.
Important. Okay, so a mentor is high on your list. Okay.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, because we're, very much on the image consultant side of things, as opposed to strictly cosmetic sales. when I first started, and Lynn can tell you the same story for herself and so many people that I brought into the business, they first say, you know, I want to learn color and style, but I'm not really that interested in selling makeup.
They didn't want to sell product.
Yeah. And I was the same way, you know, that was how my husband was, you're a makeup saleswoman, right?
Okay.
But you know, it's so much fun.
Yes.
It's that immediate transformation. Um, and most women do wear makeup. And if you wear makeup, the colors for that, just as important as the clothing, your colors, because
Right.
on your face.
Okay.
And to reinforce, you know, your coloring and make it its best, or they'll stand out and look fake and painted. And so women want that, need that advice.
Okay.
And it's also certainly good for the bottom line. It keeps
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because when you think about it, if the business is set up for you to just perform the color and the style service, once you do that, and that's it, the client really doesn't need you anymore. If you don't embrace establishing a way for that customer to be a repeat client for you. Yeah.
The other thing I will say is to really, you know, after getting the training, to get started right away.
Okay.
I
don't delay.
I learned to, you know, I went to training, you know, because I just wanted to learn. I didn't really see it as a business when I first started.
You didn't.
And they told me in training that you know, part of the deal with training is that you need to do, you know, 2 consultations your first 2 weeks.
Okay.
And you know, I was always a good student. You know, I was very, very credulous. I was like, okay,
this is what works. Yeah, let me do it.
And so I got friends over to practice on, and oh my goodness, they want to buy something.
So you were surprised.
Yeah, and then I did it as a fundraiser for my son's preschool.
Okay.
Now 35.
Wow.
Anyway, and I did my first 3 group classes that way.
Okay.
And all those people are still my clients.
Wow.
And it just kind of kept rolling, and it was like, oh, okay, I guess this works.
Okay. Well, I think that, you know, you have, that's why I love being able to talk with multiple successful entrepreneurs, because while some things are the same, some are very unique. And I think what you've identified is something that is powerful for a person that's coming in new. One, that it's great to have a mentor, because a mentor can save you making mistakes that or having, you know, pitfalls that are just going to naturally happen if you follow a course of a direction. But then the other thing is just being open to a different mindset, because as you say, just you along with others that have come into the business, you know, see the image and the color business as kind of, you know, the ultimate thing to do. And while it's great, it could be a one-way street if you're not careful and if you don't embrace the possibilities. And then of course the other thing is not procrastinating, you know, because so many times, you know, you see people come in to start doing something. They're excited at the beginning, but you know, as soon as a no comes or something happens, they will sometimes tend to back away. But getting started and doing it right away, whether the sale comes or not, is really, that's powerful.
Yeah, I think it's, if you wait too long, it's easy to lose courage.
Yes, absolutely.
And momentum, and I think both of those things really help.
I
And
love it.
you know, when you first get started, your enthusiasm level is high.
It's at its highest, yeah. So you have
Yeah.
to capture that, you know, at its peak, and then, you know, during that course of starting out, something is going to happen that continues to keep you encouraged, so that you continue to go back. Because, you know, we always say in you know, when I'm talking to people, if you're not hearing no, then you'll never hear a yes. When people are when you're trying to build a business where the end result is that you want that customer to either, you know, buy a service from you or to buy products. And so that's great. That is absolutely phenomenal. And you are doing some amazing things, not just in Northern Virginia, but, you know, for our community at large. And you know, the fact that you are giving back to the community, particularly during this volatile time, is a powerful testimony to how you care about not just your clients, but people worldwide. So that's awesome. And is there anything else you would like to share with the audience that maybe they don't know about you after spending these 2 minutes with you?
Okay, well, I'll have to look at my notes and see what else I didn't talk about. I do. I do like Lynn. I keep an inventory.
Okay.
I always tell people I keep an inventory that's broad but not very deep.
Okay.
I have one of most things.
Okay.
So that if somebody wants, you know, 6 of a particular lipstick, I can't.
You can't provide that. But you can give them the one to hold them over until you get the rest. Yes.
Right.
Okay, that's good.
And so that, you know, when a client first comes, then I have the, you know, usually, sometimes somebody else has just bought it, but usually I have most of what they want.
Okay.
You know, I also, it was interesting to hear Lynn tell, I had heard this before about how she does the makeup half the face.
Mm-hmm.
I do that because I want them to be able to go out and look, you know.
People say that that's a setup if they've never seen one.
Right, but
yeah.
but I do have clients bring the makeup that they have.
Okay.
So that I can, you know, I tell them I can give them feedback on the colors.
Okay.
I can make sure, you know, that sometimes people will say, I think I've got something like that, but if they don't have it with them, they won't know.
Okay.
And so, you know, it's good to be able to offer that service as well. Sometimes it ends up a little funny. And one lady who had to feel the vibrations of both.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. So are your clients, I mean, are you finding that your clients are still looking to you to get their product, or are they, how are you dealing with, you know, kind of the new way of, you know, with women working at home more now during COVID-19 and being online, you know, just kind of almost 24/7. How are you, you've got inventory, that's great. And that was certainly a great business model, and it's one that can continue. But how do you, what's your thought process on, you know, giving the customer the option to be able to order online?
I do definitely offer that, let them know about that. I have put out the affiliate link,
Okay.
you know, I haven't pushed it hard, but I have suggested it.
Okay.
I do tell people that it's probably the most cost-effective way to shop, and it's easy if they. But I am happy to serve them directly, and it worked out fine for both of us.
Okay.
I have clients who do some of both.
Okay, which is great. I mean, and I think that's a good way to look at it, because at the end of the day, it's really more about what the customer wants and not necessarily how we want them to be able to shop. So we have to understand what the customer's shopping habits and their needs are. But that's great. I mean, so you are a color expert extraordinaire that's kind of doing it all, and giving back and celebrating your clients and staying fabulous at the same time. That's all. That's like the perfect package wrapped with a bow. And
Well, I have to look myself in the mirror. So.
hey, you know what? I'm the same way. I love your haircut too. It's cute.
Oh, well, this is longer than normal, but
Okay. That's the COVID-19 bob.
yeah, when it gets a little longer, I'll put it in a ponytail. But,
Okay. I love it. I love it. Well, Ann, thank you so much for sharing you and just your ideas. And I think that I know that.
Yeah. One more thing I
Yeah.
want to mention, which
Okay.
is I have to say good things about the local group, because
Yes.
a lot of people think well, we're competitive with each other since there's a number of us in this area.
In this area, yeah, because we probably have the biggest
thing.
concentration. Yeah.
But that is one of the very best things, is that we have a cooperative attitude.
Okay.
We help each other with inventory that might be out of stock. We consult with one another about what would you recommend for this sort of thing.
Okay.
And so it's really a community of people who are doing the same thing, and just been a great source of support.
I love it. I love it.
So,
So ladies, you heard it from the best. And if we had to sum it all up, mentorship is important. Being open to new ideas and not being stuck on maybe the way that you come into the business. Not procrastinating, and having community. 4 powerful things that you have to really kind of think about, chew on, and see where you line up in that in that zone, and how you can feed from the information that you're hearing from Ann and other successful entrepreneurs, and how you can start where you are, make that pivot, and be able to move in the direction that you want to go. So thank you for joining us for another session of hearing from our successful beauty CEOs. Thank you, Ann. Virginia, Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland, this whole DMV area is better because of you. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for spending the time with me today.
Yeah, always enjoy talking with you, Sharon.
Okay, have a great one. Stay beautiful. Bye-bye.